Well, you guys have been asking for it. My dad has finally finished Phase 2 of the MCU. He'll be heading into Phase 3 soon. We'll probably see that video by Christmas. But thank you guys again so much for tuning in. If you guys are new here, make sure to go check out that first video up in the card above where he ranks the Marvel Phase 1. He has rarely seen any of these MCU films. And Phase 2, you pretty much only seen Guardians beforehand, right? You never saw any of the other ones. So this was like a first-time watch for a majority of him. His ranking is actually quite surprising this time around. But it's going to be fun, guys. Make sure to comment down below and let us know what your ranking is for the MCU Phase 2. And again, this is my dad ranks the Marvel Cinematic Universe. He doesn't know every single fact or any other nature. He's not a comic book nerd. He's not a geek like us. He just likes watching movies. And if they're good or enjoyable, then he's going to like them. So, let's jump into your number 6, which is Thor: The Dark World. Easily the worst MCU film ever. I dropped my paper, but it's easily the worst MCU film. It's my least favorite. It's pretty much the worst rated film on Rotten Tomatoes. It's, I think, the only rotten Marvel film on Rotten Tomatoes. It's boring. It's just a straight up slugfest of a movie that I remember when the first time I watched it, I was like, this ain't bad. Then I saw it again, I'm like, this is not good. So, Thor: The Dark World. A couple notes that we kind of threw out while you were watching it. You did like the Captain America cameo between him and Loki.
Sure.
The funny thing with that is actually they didn't know if they could get Captain America to do it, so they were just going to have Tom Hiddleston in the armor, but then they actually could, so then they refilmed it. You said you like Darcy.
Right.
Which everyone actually despises her character. They think she's one of the worst MCU characters.
Wow.
They think her, Natalie Portman's character, any of the Thor's human companions, terrible.
Okay.
Which is funny. She's actually going to be in the WandaVision show for Disney Plus, so we'll see how that goes. Loki and Thor working together, you did really much like, which was nice. I like seeing them work together too. Right. I think they have really good chemistry. Fun fact. Did you know Tom Hiddleston, who plays Loki, originally auditioned for Thor?
No, I did not.
He did. He auditioned for Thor, and he didn't get it, so they gave him Loki. But So yeah, them working together, I think, is one of the stronger aspects of this film. I think finally seeing that companionship between them, that brotherly love that we get, even though there is that, like, oh, did he screw him over? Did he not? Towards thing. And then you get to the ending, which you did not like the cliffhanger at the end. You didn't like how, where's the king? Loki's king. There's actually... It's not proven, but a lot of people believe that they actually killed Loki off, and when they showed it to people, test audiences, they hated it, so then they went back and refilmed it and left him.
Okay.
No one knows if that's true or not. I kind of believe in that just because it kind of cheapens his death. There's this big thing of that no one actually ever dies in the MCU. It's just they die and then they come back. They die and come back. This is kind of one of those things that he died and, you know, he's going to come back. So you didn't like the cliffhanger. You thought the last fight scene was kind of garbage too. The villain's pretty much garbage in here too. The dark elves and all that stuff. But the big part about this whole film is it is part of the Infinity Stones. You get to see that red stone that gets part of this, which will tie in very heavily towards the end of your watch. Did you like the powers of that? Were you confused? Did you...
Well, I definitely, when I watched these movies, wasn't paying attention to the big picture as I am now. So now I know more about the stones and I'm paying attention more.
Yeah, definitely. So. And, you know, the other thing with this, and again, we're going to move off this film because this film's honestly really boring.
We're dedicating way too much time to it.
One of the things I want to ask you is Thor's companions, his friends that he has, did you like them? You had the likes of Zachary Levi, you had like the Viking girl, Lady Sif. Did you like them?
I mean, it's fun. I mean, it's entertaining, right? But, you know, I definitely wouldn't watch it again.
Yeah, that's how everyone is. When it comes to my rewatches, every time I get to that film, it's like you keep putting it off and off and off, and it just never gets better. So coming in at his number 5 is Avengers: Age of Ultron. Were you disappointed by this one since you really loved the first one? The first Avengers is still his favorite film that he's seen out of this. But you were disappointed in this one? Was there an initial why? Was it just the story this time around? The villain?
I think it's just the story.
The story,
the
okay.
Villain,
so first off, you got to kick that Robert California plays Ultron. Okay, and I'm gonna input our favorite quote from him right here.
Will not be blackmailed by some ineffectual, privileged, effete, soft penis debutante. You want to start a street fight with me? Bring it on. But you're going to be surprised by how ugly it gets. You don't even know my real name. I'm the Lizard King.
I am the effing Lizard King is amazing. So with him, I actually really like Ultron. My only issue with him as a villain is I don't think there's enough time with him to develop him as a villain. Did you feel that, or did you just think he was kind of boring? Because it feels like he's brought into the world. Boom. He does his stuff. He wants to kill everyone, and then he loses. And that's all it is. Another big thing that gets introduced to the Avengers team is the twins. You have Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch. Did you like their characters? Did you not?
I mean, it was okay.
Well, just so you know, Scarlet Witch becomes a big play. She's getting her own show for Disney Plus, so she's getting a big thing. And then we also had a Vision introduced to here. Did you like Vision? He was Jarvis, and then he got turned.
Right.
Did you like that whole interactions?
Yeah. That's Paul Bettany.
Paul Bettany's, Paul Bettany's character. Which, going into here, my favorite thing about Avengers 2... Legion's great. Legion's underrated. If you've never seen Legion, that movie's underrated.
Sorry.
So here's the thing. With Avengers 2, did you like how the team was actually working together? I liked seeing the team work together in here. I liked seeing the elements of that, because you see in that first action sequence them all working together, actually them as the Avengers team now. And you get a little bit of that towards the end of the whole movie, when you see Thor hit his hammer on the shield and it kind of moves around. You see them like team up in a sense, and they're finally being the Avengers.
Right, working together, right? And it's something we talked about in the last video.
And one of my favorite whole entire scenes in this is when they complete that first mission and they go back and have that whole party, and you have Stan Lee's cameo where he's like, I can handle the drink. He goes, Excelsior, and he's completely wasted. But the best part is when they're around the table trying to lift Thor's hammer.
Yes.
And I love when one of the little lines is Don Cheadle and Robert Downey Jr. when trying to lift, he goes, are you pulling? I'm pulling. Are you pulling? Yeah. And then you go to everyone and it gets to Captain America and he's trying to lift the hammer and it moves just a little bit and you see Thor's face go...
Yep.
Do you think he can actually... Move? So here's the thing. Do you think Captain America can lift the hammer or not? Do you think he can actually hold the hammer or not? And he was just trying to be nice? You don't think so?
No.
Okay. Because that's something that everyone's like, can he? Was he just trying to be nice to Thor? So who knows down the road if that'll ever happen.
You didn't want to hurt Thor's ego.
No, and that's how a lot of people look at it. Was like, can he not? Because in the comic books, he's held it once. Superman came in at one time and held it.
Wow.
I think Black Panther at one point held it. So like, there's some people who have held it before, but in the movies, we've never seen that before yet. So
that'll be interesting.
So yeah, but seeing the team actually work together is great. So now adding another thing, you were really shitty on Hawkeye in the first film. Did this improve him at all when you finally find out that he has a family? No, not at all.
Did not endear
Linda
me
Cardellini's
one
his
bit.
wife. They didn't care at all.
And I like her, yep.
But you didn't care at all.
Did not care at all. Did not endear
See, for
him
me,
to
I loved it. Now, here's the other thing. Your next film you're going to watch is Civil War. Okay. Did you see the little seeds they were planting in here? You see Tony and Cap arguing on the farm a bit. He rips everyone. And at this point, when this film was coming out, Civil War was already announced to come out, so we knew we were getting Civil War soon.
Right.
Did you feel that tension between them? Did you feel that or not? Because they're planting the seeds.
Yeah, you see that building up.
So yeah, so Avengers 2, disappointing from the first one. I actually like this one more than the first one.
Really?
Yeah, just because.
Why? Yeah.
The first one I've seen so many times that I think at this point the spectacle of it is gone. Like, I've seen Endgame, I've seen Infinity War, where it's everyone. So it's like, for me, these two films, I don't even care to rewatch anymore. Just because, I mean, it's nice, and I actually think the first Avengers, when people will look back and be like, what are classic blockbuster films? I think the first Avengers will be a classic blockbuster. We'll look at it, and I think it'll be along the likes of the original Michael Keaton Batman, Jurassic Park, Jaws. But it's one of those movies that, it's great. Avengers 2, though, I think builds it up a little bit. I like the villain more for this. I love Ultron. I think Ultron's a cool villain. Could have been used a little bit better, but James Spader's voice is great as it. Let's move on to your number 4. Number 4 is Iron Man 3. Now, a lot of people despise this film. A lot of people, this is like their least favorite movie out of the whole entire MCU because of one reason and one reason at all. And that is the twist of... I can't remember the guy's name off the top of my head, but the Mandarin. He's playing the Mandarin, but it turns out it's just Trevor, an actor, pretending to be him. The Mandarin is one of the coolest villains in the MCU, and they whittled him down to just an actor. But did that disappoint you? I mean, you don't know who the Mandarin is, but did you like the twist? Did you not?
It didn't affect me.
Okay, because it's funny. Marvel, now, their next film, Shang-Chi, coming out, I think in May, it's going to be like a Kung Fu film, like Kung Fu, like there's old throwbacks to it.
Oh, cool.
The Mandarin's the main villain for that film. And they've actually said that the Mandarin this is the real Mandarin coming in. He's pissed at the world for trying to fake it out.
Okay.
So Iron Man 3, it's the first film after the Avengers. It made a ton of money. First solo Marvel film to make $1 billion that's not an Avengers film. So first film after
Wow.
My favorite part about this is how they handle PTSD with Tony Stark, especially with everything going about in this world. And did you like the PTSD element or no?
I don't know, man. To me, superheroes should be superheroes.
Well, and I know your notes, you said he was a pussy because of all this. So dealing with that, Did you like the relationship with the kid though in here?
Yeah, I mean, it's it's just trying to endear you, right? And build you up.
And then I know you put down a lot of different quotes that you liked between the kid and him. Something about going out to get a cigarette and never coming back.
Right.
Stuff and elements like that. Now, in your notes, though, the big scene that you really did love was the plane scene when Iron Man had to go grab everyone, and then it turned out he wasn't actually in the suit. Was that your favorite moment of the movie, or were you kind of just like, eh?
It was cool.
Yeah, but you like this one more than the other two, just because it was a little bit better.
Right.
Did you like the last action sequence between Tony when all of his suits finally came out and started helping out? Okay.
Yep.
Which was cool seeing all the different suits that he's built. And
Yep.
so this is my thing. How do you feel that he destroyed all of his suits at the end of the film? He destroyed them all for Pepper, all that stuff. He doesn't want to be Iron Man anymore, pretty much.
Well, I mean, he had to do it. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, he can always build it again.
And that's how
I'm
everyone
sure
thinks.
that's what he's thinking.
This film's biggest problem a lot of people have with it is the twist. Did you like Guy Pearce as the villain of this other guy?
I like Guy Pearce. I didn't like him so much in this.
So this is like lower on your tier along with these other films, right? So so out of the Iron Man films, is this your least favorite one? Or is one still your least favorite? Because I know you weren't high on the first one either.
It's pretty close. This one, the 3 was. It's
fun. It's entertaining.
It was entertaining.
It's written and directed by the guy who wrote the original Predator.
Is that right?
I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but he also did The Nice Guys, which you hate The Nice Guys.
He did Nice Guys and Predator.
Yeah, and he did Predators, the one that we went and saw the screener of.
Is that the Shank one?
Yeah. No. The other one that we saw in theaters.
The preview.
The latest one. So he also did that. It was okay.
Yeah.
All right. So going into your number 2, which actually your number 3 now is Ant-Man, which I love Ant-Man. I love Ant-Man. I love both of them. I think they're so much fun. You actually pushed this up on your ranking because you had to go and look at some of the trailers and stuff. So this was originally your number 4, and now it's your number 3. Why did Ant-Man go up? Did you just have a lot of fun with it?
So Ant-Man for me was tough. It was one of those movies that I think I put on when I was flying overseas or something.
Yeah, and you weren't a big fan of it.
And I was already tired, and so I came home with this preconceived notion. But then when we watched it, I realized how much fun it was. I wasn't tired. I was in a better mood, obviously.
Yeah, and he's kind of like MacGyver. I saw that. You said that he was kind of like MacGyver in some of the stunts that he did. And you also like the lightness of the movie, how it wasn't above and beyond. It was Ant-Man. So it's a tiny film.
Yep.
What did you think of a lot of the action sequences in here? It's one of my favorite action set pieces. Actually, is when they shrink down and they're fighting on the choo-choo train. We see Thomas the Tank Engine.
Yep.
It's fun to see the scale that they play around with that. Is that some
and
of your
that's always fun. I mean, that's always fun. When
and do you like his suit? You like Paul Rudd in the role? I think when they announced Paul Rudd as Ant-Man, no one saw it coming, and everyone was like, "I never thought of that, but that is perfect casting." How perfect of an actor to get into the Ant-Man role.
He's a pretty good Ant-Man. Better than the guy that plays the Hulk.
Oh, Mark Ruffalo? You don't like Mark Ruffalo? But yeah, so all that. And then you also said that you like Antony, his ant friend that he rides around on his back.
Right. I thought that was
It's fun. And again, Ant-Man, the biggest thing is shrinking and all that stuff. So out of all these superheroes, would you want the Ant-Man powers? Would you not?
That'd be cool.
Yeah. So are you excited to see Ant-Man and the Wasp now?
Especially after
did you guys watch the after credit scenes with him and we see Michael Douglas shows that he has the Wasp has her own suit coming in, so it's cool. I love them both. I think they're so much fun. Some people hate the next one, some people like it.
We'll see.
So I'm excited. So your number 2 now, Winter Soldier. This went up though because this was your number 3.
Right.
Went up number 2, and this is hailed as like the best MCU film. It's top.
Really?
Yeah, it's top 5, top 6 for me. I really love it. It's my favorite Captain America film.
Wow.
But with this film, you had through your notes. You put an oh shit moment when Cap threw the shield and he caught it.
Bucky caught it.
So did you know that was Bucky? Did you know that was Bucky watching the film?
Yeah.
Okay, you did even
you
from.
You can tell. Yeah.
Okay, because I remember. They spoiled that in the trailer, and I'm like, I mean, it gets spoiled so early on. It's not like a last 30-minute sequence when it's like, oh my god, it's Bucky. Right. So what do you think about that? He's coming back. He's alive. He's a badass now.
Right,
what do you think? You know,
it was cool. I mean, it was, obviously it's his nemesis now.
And they're villains, and Bucky's somewhat normal at the end of the film.
Right.
He's kind of starting to remember everything you're understanding.
Yep.
You also put that you like Falcon in here, so you like Falcon.
Yeah.
Falcon and Winter Soldier, they're getting their own show on Disney Plus later this year, so
Wow.
it's going to be in the same vein as Winter Soldier, 6
Really?
episodes.
Really?
Kurt Russell's son Wyatt Russell is going to be in it as well.
Cool.
It's in the villain for Civil War will also be in it too, being the main villain. It's you haven't seen it yet, but he's actually a really underrated villain. A lot of people kind of crap on him, but when you think about him as a person, it's really, really cool. So yeah, Winter Soldier has a couple different twists as well. Of course, you get that moment. I think Winter Soldier, the best thing about it is it's like a political action thriller with the political elements dealing with Robert Redford's character in S.H.I.E.L.D., but also dealing with the twists and turns with Hydra. And Hydra becoming a big key in this. So what do you think of the Hail Hydra? Does it change your influences to how this might affect the Marvel universe now?
No, I mean, it doesn't. I mean...
And is your favorite action sequence, is it the one between them on the bridge fighting, Bucky and Cap, or is it the elevator sequence?
I like the elevator.
The elevator. Did you know they were going to fight right when they got in there?
No, I didn't at first, and you know, the wife kind of called it, and then when he said, is there anybody that wants to get out? You knew the shit was hitting the fan.
And so I'm going to tell you right now, for Avengers Endgame, there's a couple films in this phase 2 that are very important. Winter Soldier's one of them, and Thor 2 is one of them. You have to... Thor 2, you don't really have to remember, but if you remember that elevator sequence, just know there's a running joke that comes into play later down the road with that. So, and it's very funny. But yeah, the action sequences in here, I think, are absolutely incredible. I think they're some of the best. And the guys who direct this film direct Civil War and direct the next 2 Avengers films. They took the mantle and like ran with it. And they got their start on Community, directing directing the paintball episodes. That's how they got famous. They helped create Arrested Development and helped make those paintball episodes for Community, and then they were handed over. And it's funny, when they were announced to do Winter Soldier, everyone was like, the guys who did Community and Arrested Development are going to do a Captain America movie, and everyone was blown away. So the last big thing to talk about, other than the Bucky thing that we already mentioned, Robert Redford. Did you see him being a villain? Did you not know that he was a villain? Were you surprised?
Well, I mean, of course, same as everybody, right? At first you see him, and it's like, oh, good to see him back. And
he said he did the role because his grandkids.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
So and it's really cool. I love seeing Robert Redford in the role. And then also, when Samuel Jackson died, did you think he died or no?
Well, after the Loki thing, you know, who knows? You know,
so you didn't think
you just watch it, right?
I feel that.
And
so
roll with it.
And your number one now. Let's get to your number one. Now, before we get to his number one, guys, you guys already know what it is if you're following along. Make sure, again, to comment down below and let me know your ranking, guys. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe button for more My Dad ranks, reviews, stuff like that. He's going to do Phase 3, hopefully fast. And then, what are you going to do next? Harry Potter? Were you thinking about doing Harry Potter?
We were talking about Fast and Furious. We were talking about
Which Fast and Furious would be fun because the next one comes out in April. So maybe that would be the next one you do. I also want him to watch Spider-Verse because he's never seen Spider-Verse. But I'm like afraid to even do that one because if he doesn't like it, I don't know how I'll feel. Because like that's like Toy Story for me now. Like literally Spider-Verse is like Toy Story for me now. And you guys, if you've been following me for a long time, I love Toy Story. But thank you guys again so much for all the support on these videos. We really do enjoy doing them. Your number one is Guardians of the Galaxy, which is my favorite Marvel film of all time. Sometimes things shift in there of all time.
That's pretty good. The
soundtrack,
of course, is
excellent. It's amazing.
You know?
I listen to it all the time. In fact, my Spotify playlist is called Awesome Mix Volume Zach. That's what it's called. It's not just called Awesome Mix. So I wanted to first ask you what.
So anyway, we were all listening to that music far before you were born. And we were playing it for you, and you did not like it. And then all of a sudden, the movie comes out.
I liked it. It's not that I never liked it. I liked it. I liked the music. So, okay, going in. Characters. Okay. Your favorite one. Who is your favorite? You got Rocket, Gamora, Groot, Star-Lord, Drax. Who's your favorite?
I like the blue dude.
Blue dude.
Or not the blue.
Yondu. So you like Yondu. But I meant out of the original.
Oh, I know.
But Yondu's your favorite Michael Rooker?
Well, and the dude with the flute. The arrow.
That's him. That's Yondu. He's the blue guy.
Yeah.
So who else do you like out of the members, though? Out of Drax, Star-Lord?
Drax. I like Drax.
Really? Everyone always says Drax. He's like my least favorite character. Even though I like Dave Bautista in the role. Like,
he's cool. Yeah. I mean, he's just...
Like, my favorite's Rocket and Star-Lord.
Everybody likes
Well,
him,
and that's the thing I love about this film is that each and every one of the characters, there's someone you'll relate to or can latch onto, and that'll be your favorite character. And Guardians, and you really like Yondu.
Yeah.
And I love Yondu. I love what Michael Rooker does with that.
Yep.
Do you like the vibe of this film? Do you like the more kooky, like how it's out there, space?
Well,
it doesn't feel like a Marvel film.
It's fun.
It doesn't feel like a Marvel film, though. And that's what I think. I remember when we first showed you this, you weren't really big on it because you're like, Marvel. And then you watch it, you're like, that was really fun. And
that's a comic, is what I thought. I'm like, how is that?
This is a comic book, and it ties in. And when this film was announced, I was the only one that was excited for it because they said, yes, Guardians of the Galaxy is coming. We're having a talking tree, a talking raccoon, and everyone's like, seriously? Yeah. And I'm like, this film's gonna be awesome. And sure. I from the first trailer, from then on, I said this is gonna be everything I've wanted and more. And yes, it's not as big a spectacle as, say, Avengers Endgame or Avengers Infinity War, but I think it's amazing what they were able to do with these characters, make you care about each and every one of them, and develop them all in one movie instead of doing separate movies. Right. Which I've always given crap to Justice League, not the Snyder Cut that's coming out, but the original one. You couldn't give me character developments for anyone? I mean, really. I mean, Guardians did it and it was very easy. But yeah, so Guardians of the Galaxy, the space was really cool. I think it's one of the coolest looking movies as well.
Yeah, it was good.
The world they built about. It's really cool because they've already talked about how the next phase of Marvel, they're going to start tinkering more into the cosmic universe, since Guardians was kind of the opening of that. Captain Marvel is another opening to that. And it's just really interesting. Now, the one con everyone has with this film was the villain. The big purple guy with the hammer, and he's okay. What do you think of him?
I mean, it was lame. It kind of a phoned-in villain.
But the thing we do get in here is we get Thanos, your first glimpse of Thanos, pretty much, which is going to be the big villain coming into play later down the road. What did you think of him? What do you think of Josh Brolin's performance?
Well, I think it's great.
You like how he plays the role?
Yeah.
So are you interested to see more of Thanos?
Well, I mean, not really, right?
Yeah.
But for the movie, yeah.
Because everyone hails him as being the best villain in the MCU. Every Marvel film, almost every review you read, everyone craps on the villains.
He has to be, though,
I think he's my second favorite, but we'll get to... First? I'm not going to say, because you haven't seen the movie yet. But once we get there, we'll see and go around there. Because I think Thanos is...
Maybe we'll go back at the end of this and rate the villains.
I think Thanos... I've actually done a video on that, so we should. I think Thanos is the best written villain in the whole entire MCU. But I think on a perspective, there's one more better villain that I love on, like... When you look at, like, what he means for not just like movies, but even our world. Okay. And I think it's really intelligent. But yeah, Thanos is brilliant. I cannot wait to see what you get out of him with Infinity War and an Endgame. It's so damn cool. But Guardians, so let's go back through your ranking. Number 6 is Thor: The Dark World. 5 is Avengers 2. 4 is Ant-Man 3. 3 is Ant-Man. 2 is Winter Soldier. And 1 is Guardians of the Galaxy. That is it. If you guys want to know what it's all going to be all over together, once he sees Phase 3, we will be doing 2 videos. We'll be doing Phase 3 ranking and then a ranking of every single Marvel film together. Which that'll be fun. Which I'll have to, again, help you through. So do you want to change any of these? Do you feel comfortable? You want to lock this list in?
I like that
one
in.
Are you excited for Phase 3?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
so one last question before we get going. And a lot of people were asking this on the last one about Phase 2, but then we didn't ask you. So, for Phase 3, what is the film you're looking forward to the most? You have Civil War, you have Black Panther, you have Thor 3, you have Ant-Man 2, you have the 2 new Avengers films. I'm not going to say Doctor Strange and Captain Marvel because you've already seen them. Same with the Spider-Man films. He's already seen those, but he probably doesn't really remember them.
I think actually Black Panther.
That's the one you're most excited for.
Just because I have no preconceived notions about it at all. I know you talked about the scale.
The scale, the world building,
the world
it's
and
really
stuff,
cool.
and so I'm probably looking forward to that. Where does that come into play?
So,
is that toward the end of this?
Civil War, Black Panther's in Civil War. That's your first introduction to him. So you get to see him in there.
Okay.
And then I don't remember correctly, but I think Black Panther comes right before Infinity War.
Okay.
So it's going to be towards the back half, but you'll get there. But yeah, Civil War is going to be interesting.
Which one am I starting off with? What's
Civil
next?
War. So you have so
cool.
I think you do Civil War.
That'll be a good one to start with then.
So I think you'll have Civil War, Doctor Strange.
Okay.
I don't now off the top of my head I can't remember them.
Strange,
right? Guardians 2 is also in there, but I think you've seen that one too. But again, this is going to be interesting to see his thoughts, guys. Black Panther is going to be his most anticipated for the next one. I'm surprised it's not Endgame or Infinity War, but I know you've kind of seen Infinity War, but you fell asleep through it. So it's going to be interesting, guys. Thank you guys again so much for clicking on this. You guys are seriously all the best. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe on your way out. Comment down below your ranking. Please do not spoil the movies in the future for him. He still reads the comment section. So be really careful when you read them.
reply.
Yeah, he does reply. So please do not spoil the future movies. There's a couple things I know I said in here that he's gonna completely forget about, and I don't want him to read a comment saying like, "Oh, well, this happens." Obviously, I know what happens. I'm trying to play it off that I've never seen the other films either. So it's going to be fun. We're going to dive into that. Thank you so much for joining me. Hit that like and subscribe on your way out. And of course, until next time, stay classy.
Peace.